Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways. And we've got a very good the festive season program, because we're going to be looking at a few emails that we've had over the last week or so, which are all to do with current things that are happening in racing, and I think that you'll enjoy them. Laf and I have totally different opinions, as we do with football sides, and I'm sorry to say that I've got the gloat chair this morning. Bad luck.
Bad luck. Better side won, James. Your side were much better. They outplayed us seriously.
Very graceful in defeat, you know that.
Yeah, well, if you deserve to lose, like Everton didn't deserve to lose later in the day because they had done everything right and they had chances cleared off the line. But Arsenal were outstanding. They played very well. When we went 2-1 up, I thought we got them. We could have gone 3-1 up. We had a great chance. We blew it. But then after that, it was Arsenal at their very best. Very good win, James. Well done.
What amazes me is that how that guy Giroud has made a difference going to the opposition. We're very happy not to have him in front.
Absolutely.
Tapping the ball around and...
you know, he's gone through one of the worst runs in his life. But don't forget, he was the lead striker for France when they won the World Cup. And he didn't score one goal.
Never scored a goal. I've always said he's useless.
It took him months to get on the Chelsea scoreboard. They gave him a penalty to give his confidence. But Chelsea bounced back after the Spurs defeat. They were too good. Man City was a bit of a game at half-time, 1-1, but they came through as they always do. Man United are stuttering. I don't know what it is. Is Mourinho under pressure? What's your gut feel?
I think he's under huge pressure. He's got Lukaku, who's slower than a red bus.
Yeah,
and he scored a goal. Well, he was given a goal.
Minutes,
you know. But the rest of them look shocking. He's got Jones and guys like that in the defence.
Yeah, I really
cannot have
them.
them.
They were 2-0 down before you could say.
And I think we're playing them
Jones.
now this week or next week.
I think so, yeah.
I think that's going to be...
Yeah, I think the way you're playing, you'll beat Man United quite comfortably, home or away. You're playing very good football.
Yeah. Yeah,
well, but Man City roll on. Liverpool, imagine the Liverpool supporters. Even the guy who chipped it, Virgil, he chipped it and he realised, I've buggered this up, and he started running back. When he turned around, that ball was in the net. I don't think he saw how it went in.
He didn't see it go in the net.
I've always said that an English keeper is not good enough. The Everton keeper is the English keeper. They're saying he played the back. He's murder.
Who's better than him?
Oh, there's a few other guys coming through.
Give me a clue.
There's
Joe Hart's gone.
Yeah, Joe Hart's still playing for... He's with Burnley now. He left West Ham. He's gone to Burnley. But there are other keepers. All he has to do is flick it over the post. What does he do? Flicks it against the crossbar.
Yeah. And
the striker said, I'll have that. 96 minutes. And they played for time with their injury. It was supposed to be 4 minutes. Now this guy injured. But that's what happens in football.
They got what they deserved. And let me tell you, I was very happy because I see that the last man standing started all over again.
And the Man United gang went.
All the Man United boys went. Thank goodness. We got rid of them.
Yeah. And just touching on the sevens, James, I thought our boys got thumped by England, didn't they?
We did get thumped by England.
This weekend it's in Cape Town.
Yeah, we looked rusty.
Rusty van Druten.
And we also looked pretty rusty as far as golf was concerned.
I didn't watch the golf.
Well, that was very interesting because I saw John Rahm win last night. He went on a birdie barrage like you've never seen. He put Finau under pressure, and it ended up wonderful to watch. Great golf. The Hero World Challenge, which is Tiger's tournament. He finished last in it. Okay, is there anything else on sport?
No, let's go to 3 to follow, James.
Let's go and have a look at the 3 to follow. We got you a couple of good ones this week. Right, so here we go. Let's start off with juvenile races. We started with the baby races at Cape Town, and they always run over 900 meters. Fascinating to watch the babies come out. We've had a few barrier trials in Durban, so we had one race yesterday in KZN, which was the Miller benefit, because Mike Miller gets his horses out and running. He doesn't play with them. The Junivals, he's the Junival king. Lucky he gave up training because I was the only one that was giving him a hard time. I like running juveniles.
No, so do I. They really run them, and Mark masters it. He had, I think, first, third, and fourth. Pomodoro. July winner. The Vodacom Durban July winner. Breeds a 4 furlong winner. Good son.
Well, he didn't breed the 4 furlong winner, actually. So we're going to go and have a look at Shinnecock, which ran second in the first juvenile plate over 900 meters. And we'll pick it up at the start. Let's go from there. There you go. Call it out.
Here we go. So the gate opens. This is by VAR, and it's a very quick horse, and it's out of a dancer's, a Daniel dancer, bred by Drakenstein, and you see it's in their silks. But it met one better, and that one better is a horse called Chilly Winter. What a winter. And I was watching this race closely. I thought, well, the favourite's always going to get there. Richard Free times he's run, but Mr. Mbele's got different ideas, James.
Well, yeah, hats off to Paul Reeves. I tell you, Paul Reeves is a damn good trainer. He can get them this out. This is obviously not in the same price bracket as the horse that ran second. You can see the horse that ran second is a nice, big, strong horse, but beautifully prepped for it. Galloped straight, galloped, never changed legs, and the kid Mbele kept it going, which was fantastic. But you can be with Shinnecock next time out. But there's a guy, Paul Reeves, who, if he had a bit of money to spend, he would be up there with the best. He's really a very, very good trainer. A nice guy too, Paul Reeves.
Yeah, good guy.
Okay, we're going to move on to Turfentine. We had Summer Cup Day, and it was, by all accounts, a fantastic meeting. And Sean Terry had the day to remember. 6 winners on the day. We'll feature him a bit later on in the program. But let's go and have a look at this first-timer of his, Sea Air, run in the second race. Ran a cracking good race. Remember, he trained the winner, and we tipped the winner to you, Back Till Gets Beaten, this winner. It's a very, very nice horse. You had to take odds on, but it's certainly dawdled in.
Yeah, the horse we found is also a Captain So 1-2 for the Captain and a horse called Sea Air. Gets out the gate well and shows speed with a lot of them. But the winner, Mythical Bolt, is absolutely gone in Marsh Shirtlift's colours down the inside. This is a galloper of note, and it quickly gets in control. I think the commentator says at one stage it's 6 lengths clear. But Sea Air, you can see it in the burgundy colours, about 4th or so. Ridden by Luke Ferraris, and he's trying to just edge it into the race. The leader, who's the winner, gets let loose any moment now, and the rest are struggling. But I like the way this horse quickened up late, James.
This is a very nice horse. As you say, Captain L, bred by Claver Flay, owned by the Qatar Racing Syndicate and Chris Van Niekerk, and great to have horses of theirs in this country. I think David Redford does their buying for him, and it really is nice to see them here. And this really looks like it could be a very nice horse, because the winner, Mythical Bolt's, got away from them and gone clear. And this horse just ends up running on and running on well. And remember, the third horse had run third, so 2 lengths behind Clairvoyant, so that wasn't bad form. And then this really looks like he'll go on to do something. I like him.
Yeah, I think smart horse, both smart horses there. So Sean Terry 1 and 2 there. That's Sea Air, the second one. Let's go on to the third one, Jim.
Well, the third one, we go to Scottsville, and we pick up a horse called Tristful, trained by Tony Riverland, ridden by Sean Veal, drawn 13. It didn't run a bad barrier trial. Ran in that barrier trial behind Run over the course. Okay, so the best part about it is that you'll see that this horse really runs all over the racetrack. Let's go and pick him up at the start.
Yeah, drawn towards the outside, and the track was in good order considering the rain they had. They'd won down the inside, down the middle, and down the outside. Now this horse jumps away well in Mary Lali's colours. The winner is from the Michael Roberts stable, Fives, Wildit and Ashton Urries on the white silks. The unlucky horse for me was Alfonso Spagoni, who doesn't get away with him, got the white blinkers in behind him. But have a look where this horse, Tristful, ends up. It's now 1 off the outside.
Yeah, it's got the green cap. It's bred by the Gary Player stud, Mary Liley Silks. He goes in. He seems to be absolutely clear. He doesn't have a problem. He should be going straight. He should be putting the stick in his right hand and getting busy with this horse. He's got the stick in the right hand and gives it a tap, and then it's now just keeps going over and over and over, running into the horses that are running in the first 4, and he's not really able to ride this horse out. And the horse just needed to have somewhere to go, and it would have run pretty close. If it had been on the outside of this horse on the blue, it would have just about won. So don't forget Tristful, as we said, bred by Gary Player. And you can watch it next time out, and certainly over 1,200 meters, I think it would be pretty close to a good thing. So those are 3 good ones to follow.
3 good ones to follow, yeah. 3 different provinces.
3 different provinces, 3 to follow, juvenile races. Going back to the juvenile race, that juvenile of Paul Reeves's ran the fastest time since 2011, broke the course record for 900 meters. Since 2011.
Yeah, quick course. Huh? They don't do too many of them, though.
Well, they get 4 or 5 900 meters, 3 or 4 juvenile races a year over 900 meters. 2011 is 8 years ago, or 7 years ago.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So you got that?
Got that.
Okay, let's go and watch what shouldn't happen. Well, if we had a caption competition,
yes,
what would you say?
I'd say this horse is called Cremora.
Yeah, it's not inside, it's on top.
How did it get up there? There must have been
must be a jumper.
Jumpers.
Onto the top.
I'll get on the roof. I'll get
away from these people.
Yeah,
this shouldn't happen. This shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't. But that's a Cremora ad for you. For those of you that are old enough to remember it. Funny enough, there was a thing going around the other day on WhatsApp or whatever they send these things with all the old ads. You know,
oh yes, I've seen
Lexington and Cremora. That was one of the
Cremora,
ads.
Yeah, all the old ones. We grew up with them.
Yeah, we grew up with them.
How they were advertising cigarettes.
Yeah.
There was much more munch. There was something else.
That was for the lunch bar.
Lunch bar, that's right. So that was very good.
That would ruin the friendship.
Yeah. Did you see the horse that goes to the hospital?
Yes.
Now that is fantastic.
Unbelievable. I actually very seriously thought of putting it on the show. Because it
maybe
really
you should put it in next week. Let's not even describe it. Let's put it out in the show next week.
It's 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes.
Right.
It's just
fantastic.
Phenomenal bit of footage.
What a horse.
And just shows you about how horses are. Anyway, you can watch us on www.goldcircle.co.za. Go to the YouTube site. You'll watch a full unabridged version. Let's go and see what the plum was.
The 400. The leader is Dynajet, Winter Crusade, Zilzal, Indy Ice towards the extreme outside. Then comes Colonel Caramel. They followed by Stalking. It's still Dynajet. Indy Ice has found the outside rail and is coming home with Zilzal. Zilzal now in front. Indy Ice at the outside's a length away, but it's 6 for Sean Terry. Zilzal clear. Zilzal won it. Second to Indy Ice. Third, Winter Crusade, and then came Dynajet.
Well, exactly a week ago, we put this horse on the show and said, when it runs over a mile, back it. It ran over a mile in the 9th race at Turfentine. There was a scratching which might have affected the payouts, but it was 3-1 at the opening betting.
Yeah.
And it ended up 19-10 and really won an extremely good race.
It was a good bet.
Was a banker in the pick six. So the pick six wasn't easy to find, but certainly if you watch the show, this horse you had to be with.
Yeah.
And Interbet obviously offered you the best price, and you couldn't go wrong. It certainly get you out of the trouble that some of those horses put you into on the day.
Yeah.
But we'll be going through all the horses and the racing in current affairs, which will be up next.
My name is Mark van Devent. I'm a fanatic horse player, absolutely passionate about racing because of the excitement of the puzzle and all the effort that goes into solving it. But it's a great spectacle too. The horses going into the pens before the start of the race, the build-up of tension, and then finding out which horse has it in them to come down in the final stages with just 100 meters left when they're gunning for the line, neck and neck. You never know really what's going to happen in the sport. That's part of the fascination of horse racing. But with Interbet, I know not only do I still get the best odds on their site, and it's also the most informative and user-friendly place for me to bet online. Interbet were the pioneers of online and Mobi betting in South Africa, and they will continue to innovate and lead the way. Interbet, where the professionals bet.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Current Affairs, where we had great racing up on the Halfveld and culminating with the Summer Cup. Fantastic, James, and what a day for Sean Terry.
Yes, that's got to be the highlight of the whole thing, was that to win 6 races out of 12 on Summer Cup Day is as good a feat as ever been done. I know they've won lots of races
Snaith's
before.
Has done it in a couple of big races down in Cape Town.
And Snaith's drawn a few blanks too.
Yeah, sure enough, but he has done it.
The cock will tell you that. Always having a go. Anyway, Mike at least didn't draw a blank here.
No, he came out with a good day.
But it was a great day for Sean Terry. But we saw a couple of group races, and we'll start off with Grade 3 Magnolia Handicap, which was the 5th race on the card, 1,160 meters. And this Vaal filly, owned and bred by Jeff van Leer, certainly set the world alight. Now, the interesting thing about this filly is that her dam won the same race 4 or 5 years ago. So that's amazing. Let's go and see Fair Rosalind's baby, Skippers by Vaal, trained by Jeffrey Woodruff. Gavin Larena to the good on it, absolutely doddled in.
Track is Casual Way, shows a good turn of speed there with Winter's Forge. Just behind them is Skippers. Captain's Princess, 4 lengths off the leader. Mrs. Races behind that Image Award is the trailer. Towards the back end of the field now with 500 to go. Kissable the leader now. Winter's Forge up on the outside, then Casual Wear. Pretty Penny's got 2 to go. Colour of Light Touros further back towards the inside. Wrecking Ball, 3-4 lengths to make up. Accidental Tourist and Skippers is running on strongly. 3:20 to go. Down the inside is Uro. Now Skippers runs on powerfully on the outside. Then comes Kissable, Pretty Penny further back. Now Skippers picks it up from Uro down the inside. Uro, Kissable down the centre, and on the outside is Skippers. Skippers going strongly inside the final 100, and Skippers wins the Magnolia by 3.5. Uro second, third to Kissable, and Pretty Penny ran 4th.
Well, there we go. Gavin Larena, and just ended up winning by 4 lengths. It drew away from Uro and Kissable.
Yeah, absolutely doddled in. It's out of Counterbois, man. Fair Rosalind, as we said. She won it a couple of... And Jeff bred her. I think she...
So he trained and bred her?
No, he owned her and bred her.
Oh, Jeff also trained her.
And Jeff trained her as well. Yeah. So all the Jeffreys were involved, but I think I think the mare might have been on Pippa's farm.
Okay.
Might be on Pippa Mickelbrew's Aventure farm. I'm not sure about that, and we'll probably get into trouble. But there you go. Bass will tell us where it was.
Walter.
Don't worry, Walter will come back and tell us where we did wrong. Let's go and have a look at the Merchants Grade 2, and this was a bit of a result because Sean Terry had 3 other horses in the race, all more fancied than this horse, and he ended up winning it, which looked pretty good for the week to come as far as racing in Cape Town is concerned. Legal Eagle gave this horse a proper hiding.
Yeah, he's a good horse, this Visionaire. He's a good horse. He's shown it in Group 1 company. He's a very good horse.
He won a good race. Lyle Hudson, we should have seen with the jockey booking that this might have been the best of them. It was a big price.
Had no luck.
And he ended up winning very nicely.
Yeah, it was. It had no luck at the 400 and to the 200. Wins very well. Very good win.
Let's go and pick them up at the 600-meter mark and run through the race.
Racing about 4 lengths off the leader. Clever Guy is further back in the field. Then comes Donny G further back to Champagne Hayes, Captain's Causeway. Then comes Africa Rising and Captain and Master. Halfway through the contest, in fact, only 500 to go, and down to 0 leads the Merchants Field from his Pond Pure Blonde. Donny G races behind that. Romy's Boy, Riverine's on the stand side, hard to play further back, and then came Clever Guy, 320 to go. Down to 0, Romy's Boy. Between runners is Pond, hard to play on the outside. Then came Clever Guy looking for a way through. Africa Rising, not the best of luck there. 100 metres to go. Romy's Boy hits the frontier. Romy's Boy running on strong is Africa Rising. Africa Rising blowing them away here. Africa Rising won the Merchants from Romy's Boy. Captain and Master came from last. Clever Guy, Rosenbloom down to 0.
Well, the angle doesn't quite show you the difficulty this young rider had finding running room for it, and a very good ride. He got it through, and again, as you say, a very good race for Sean Terry, 1st and 3rd.
Very cool ride, absolutely superb ride by Lyle Hudson. I think he's world class, this guy.
He's a very
and
good
he's
rider.
done it in such a short time. He's got such a career ahead of him, not even possible.
Yeah.
Because this horse, most people would have panicked where he was and gone in or gone right in trying to find a run. He just sat and waited and waited and waited and let them open up. He had the horse and then ended up winning easily.
He won easily. You saw him going through the 400 James. You know this horse here, I remember Africa Rising. He won a race here at Greyville. It might have been a prep run. And they put boots on him. You know the boots over the hooves.
Yes, that's right.
So he doesn't grab a quarter. And they didn't want to grab a quarter. They took him down to start. They forgot to take them off. I think he still won.
That? Do you remember that?
Yeah, he still won with the boots on. He's a good horse.
He's a very good horse.
He raced
He's my
in boots.
Visionaire out of a Brashy mare.
That's right.
Summerhill bred.
Summerhill,
and that's Summerhill pedigree. 625,000 rand yearling. Owned by Chris and the Super Bets guys. So, you know,
well done to them.
Lucky for them.
Very good
Had
horse.
a very good day. Right, we're going to go and have a look at the next one, and that is the Ipitombi, which is a grade 2. Now it's been downgraded. It used to be a grade 1. But this filly looked like the right horse in the race. She's had bottom weight, and Warren Kennedy rode a cracker on her. Let's go and pick him up at the 800. Nafayes.
Homeward bound, just over 700 metres left to go. Redberry Lane will bring them into the home straight as the leader. Nafayes is second. Then comes Fiorella, gone just ahead of Silver on Fire, and they race about 2 lengths off the leader. Then comes Aldanza. Roy's Riviera was further back. Silver Thursday, Dagmar and Green Top has now dropped to the rear as they get to the final 500 metres, and Nafayes has gone past Redberry Lane. He needs to pull out a response. Then comes Fiorella. Silver on Fire up the inside. Aldanza tries to chase the leaders down as they now get to the final 300. Nafayes is in front. Fiorella, Silver on Fire, giving it her all. Then comes Aldanza to the outside, but it's Nafayes in the lead. Got 2 lengths over Aldanza. Nafayes in front. Aldanza tries hard, but she's not getting closer. Nafayes has won it. Second to Aldanza, Silver on Fire. Third, and then came Fiorella.
Yeah, comfortable winner for this Aussie bred. And Warren Kennedy, the pilot, he's a great rider, but unfortunately he got hurt early in the race in Scottsville, and we're waiting to find out, James, whether it's a fractured ankle or not. He stood down, but he was in a lot of discomfort, and funny enough, 3 of his rides that he was due to ride won on the day, you know.
Yeah, he's riding. So he rode this one absolutely how Mike the Cock would have wanted him to ride.
Yeah.
Bottom weight, go early, make them carry their weight. All
Yes.
the 4-year-olds and older, they made them carry their weight. It was a masterful display from Warren, and I really hope that he hasn't hurt himself. But this is by Exceed and Excel out of a De Hair mare,
That's right, yeah.
and owned by Sheikh Hamdan. It's a very, very nice filly, this.
Yeah.
She's going
She
to
got
go
the
on.
pull in the weight,
Yeah,
and she was, as you say, ridden beautifully.
Yeah, beautifully ridden. Right, we're going to go on from there and have a look at the G-Bet Summer Cup. They're the sponsors, and it really is a race that is worth watching every year. There's always some good horses in this race, and this year was no exception. A couple of them fluffed their lines, but at the end of the day, we couldn't be happier for the people that won. They deserve to win. I know they had a lot of disappointment coming later on, especially Mark Curry. His horses did well. His soccer team, rubbish.
Don't you start with Mark Curry? We're still ahead of you, I think.
Yeah, okay, well, let's go and have a look at the G-Bet Summer Cup from the start, and then we'll give you the analysis.
And the answers we'll know in 2 minutes' time. The G-Bet starting Summer Cup field are racing away from the 2,000 metres mark, and a great roar to go with it. And Deo Juvente gave away 3 lengths. Cash Time broke out well. Secret Potion, Fort Ember goes on the attack. Then further back we find Arctica in the orange and green colours. Dawn Assault just behind the pace, and the pace is good. Then comes Tilbury Fort taking the pieces in 7th place, and only about 6 lengths off the leader. Liege on the improve as well. That now races midfield just ahead of Coral Fever. Then comes Sabina's Dynasty against the fence in the green and black colours. Roy Had Enough was further back. Here's Cascapedia. She must be racing about 4 or 5 lengths off the leader. Then we go further back to Like a Panther. That's in the blue, red and white colours, and gives the leaders about 10 lengths start. Tandava was next. Kilrain out after those. Noble Secret towards the rear. And then comes Deo Juvente racing at the back of the field as they make their way down the side of the course in the Summer Cup. And Fort Ember is the one in front. She's got the call by a length. Dawn Assault went up to race second. Then comes Cash Time. He's perfectly placed at the rail third. Arctica fourth, and here's Cascapedia. Yellow sleeves and cap in 5th place, and she's also neatly positioned. Arctica lost a few places after jumping out quite well. Taking the piece was next. Then comes Liege, Coral Fever. After them to Tandava. Sabina's Dynasty against the inside. Out after those is Tilbury Fort. Social Order, Like a Panther. Kilrain has got about 10 to make up. Roy Had Enough, Deo Juvente, and Noble Secret past the 600. In front now, Dawn Assault. Cash Time right there. Cascapedia at the inside is getting serious. Fort Ember tries to stay on. Arctica towards the outside. Secret Potion. Coral Fever's warming up. Like a Panther tries to get into it as well. 300 metres left to go. Dawn Assault. Cascapedia at the inside. Then comes Arctica. Coral Fever's getting into the race. Arctica just the leader. Dawn Assault. Cascapedia. Then comes Coral Fever. Coral Fever to the outside. Look at him go. Tilbury Fort is right in there. Coral Fever. Tilbury Fort. It's Tilbury Fort. Tilbury Fort won it. Dawn Assault in a photo for second with Coral Fever. Cascapedia.
Well, there we go. A close finish, and James, young Hewson timed it right. And how has this horse improved as a gelding, Tilbury Fort? Wow, he's become a very decent horse. You don't always get a horse chestnut beating a call to combat in a big race like that, you know. That's just strange. But well done, St. John Gray. He got his horse into scrum from a long way out. And Cascapedia loomed up to win it. Yeah. The Coral Fever, the big weight, honest as they come, James.
Well, Coral Fever ran the race, the race of the race, if you look at it. But he had to give chunks to these horses. This horse, he had to gave 8 kilos to it.
Yeah, it was a great run. Great run.
And a great run. And he gave 8 kilos to all of them, actually, because he was so high in the weights. There was 6 kilos between him and the second top weight.
Very good horse, very good.
Just analysing it, you know, this was bred by James Armitage, okay, owned by Eric Van Niekerk's one of the partners, Chris's son. So he showed up his dad, which is nice. Sean, obviously, with his syndicate's got a share in it. Mark runs in his colours. Mr. Jacobs, you know, he loves racing. He's been with Sean forever. And Sash Mathan, I think he was with Spike Lorena for a bit of time. Okay. So these are guys that are proper racing guys that won it. And James Armitage, out of a restructure mare, there were questions about this horse staying.
That's right.
I thought that
His dad
Lyle
stayed.
Hewitson rode a fantastic race because he held him up and held him up. He only produced him late, and he did hang in. But despite him hanging in, he kept going. You know, he just didn't try and straighten him up. He waited till he got to those horses, had something to, and ended up winning well.
Yeah, very good. Well done to all those guys. And I say Sean Terry, but Mark Curry and his partners, they were over the moon. I listened to the interviews, and it was wonderful that Mark paid tribute to his great mate, Chris Gerber, because he used to race next to him or in the same box as him. And then the short and sweet, Eric came on. He said they've said it all. So well done to all of you. It's a fantastic win to win the G-Bets Gauteng Summer Cup, and that's a 2 million rand race. Wonderful to see.
Yeah. What are the disappointments? Let's go through the disappointments.
Obviously the filly of... Beg your pardon?
Taking the piece?
Yes, that filly, she could have been a big day for Visionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know...
Secret Potion, they were strongly fancied.
Strongly fancied, it wasn't too far adrift.
Yeah. Might be too sharp for her. She's an Oaks winner.
Yeah.
Might need a bit further than the 2,000 metres. There are a couple of them that certainly didn't run
their
as
races,
we expected. But Dawn Assault, St. John Grey. I saw Frickie is working for him.
Frickie Kralin.
Frickie Kraling's working for St. John. Wherever Frickie goes, they have winners.
Yeah.
Frickie's a very good assistant. Very, very good assistant.
Yeah.
And then Coral Fever, as we said, runner of the race. You know, when the trouble is there's not enough weight for 8 races for this horse like him. He's a 6-year-old.
He's a superb
won 4
horse.
million in stakes.
Yeah, that's right. He's been a real servant. Robbie Sage has done a very good job from him. Well done to Colin Bird as well. He's a man who puts his money into the game, and his horse ran well as well.
Right, let's just talk about overseas. A horse called Uni won the Grade 1 Matrix. It's by More Than Ready.
Uni?
Yeah, Uni.
Oh, Uni.
Yeah, Uni. You know what the Australians call them. We got a Uni. Yeah. So this Uni won
the Matrix. Is that your Aussie accent?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Man. Well, let's talk about Aussie. Winks won the Vox Populi Award, which is sponsored by the late Penny Chenery. Okay, yes. She was Secretariat. The Secretariat Vox Populi Award. And it's for the best represented horse with racing with the racing public. The racing public vote on it, okay, in America and international, and it's going to be presented to the owners at Santa Anita on the 12th of January. So these owners are sitting in their little island there, and they're going to go to America to get presented with an award that the American fans and the international fans...
That's the impact she's made, Winks. Yeah.
Amazing. Got it in front of a Triple Crown winner. You know, we had a Triple Crown winner last year.
Yeah, listen, it shows that they're objective. You know, it's good to see that they can consider a horse. Next year could be that Japanese filly.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, let's hope so. Eyes wide open.
No, that's not its name.
Churchill Downs, purses up 20%.
That's good news, James.
Huge,
very
unbelievable.
Good. 20%. Well, we must do it in South Africa too, please.
Yeah, well, we'd love to do it in South Africa. 76% in 5 years, the purses are up. So it shows you it's possible to do. Yes. And that's without the Breeders' Cup.
That's right.
Mendelssohn, going to Ashford Stud. He's by Scat Daddy.
Coolmore's American branch.
Yeah, he's by Scat Daddy. He's a half-brother to Beholder. I think he'd be a fantastic acquisition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? He's a very good racehorse. And then Ty Anglin, the guy who used to ride for David Payne.
Yeah,
he got injured.
He wasn't a good one, eh?
No, apparently the horse stumbled out the pens, and the way he fell, he's in intensive care. But he's in a stable condition, and you know, nice to hear that he is stable. But he did have a bad fall. Anyway, that's it for the racing news. We'll be back with a couple of contentious points in Your Call. Right, let's kick off. Your call, we're going to do emails, and we got some fascinating emails here today. Lef's got a couple to read, I got 3 to read, and we'll try and give you the lowdown, although we weren't able to get all the information. This is from Out of Pocket in Vonderboom. Hi all, for your information, these sales races for big amounts of money are paid for by the buyers of the horses. Do the sales companies put in any money, or are the owners being ripped off by the sales company? I'll tell you what I did. I rang, first of all, went and got a few of the entry prices and the terms and conditions, yes. And then I telephoned Ashley, who's very helpful at TBA, to try and find out about their added incentive bonuses. I didn't have a chance to speak to the CTS bunch, but what I can tell you is I can tell you the basic prices. And what happens, the value-added stakes are made up of money that is paid by the breeders when they enter the horses and paid by the owners when they buy the horses.
Yeah, both ends. They get money in both ends, before and after.
The question is, I think this guy's saying, is what happens is that if there's a surplus of that?
Well, I don't know if you're going to surplus.
Or is there a surplus?
Oh, it's hard to say the surplus. Again, I'm not speaking from a position of strength here either, James, but you must remember it's all good and well saying, right, I've bought this horse, I've had to pay this huge amount, and the breeders had to pay this huge amount because he's getting them onto a sale that qualifies you for these races. But then the key comes in, you have to pay to get in that race. And so you're paying big money. If you're one of the select horses who has the ability to get in and you're going to get a run, you don't get in by virtue of you having paid at the sale ground.
Isn't that an anomaly?
Absolutely. You know, absolutely. To get into that race, you know, worldwide, and again I stand to be corrected, worldwide big races are 1% of the stake is your fee to run, your acceptance to run in that race. So if you're racing for $2.5 million, they want a lot of money out of you.
Well, 1% is 25,000.
That's right. They want a lot, and then that.
But I think there are more than 25,000 nominations and acceptances for
normally, it's funny enough. Worldwide, it works out. I think from the Vodacom Durban July and that. When you do, let's look at the Vodacom Durban July, James. When you get X amount of horses nominated, the first stage, say 70 horses, they put in $5,000 each or something. Then the second stage and the supplementary stages and all that all adds up. But at the end of the day, big races. Some money's got to come from the house.
Yeah, well, it interests me this because it's a very, very good point, and it's something that I've always worried about and wondered about. What happens if there's a surplus? Okay, say the sales company gets in 50 million from entries and
they'd never get that amount, James.
I'm just using a figure.
No, I know you're using a figure.
Let's say 5 million. Okay, and they only pay out 3.5 million.
Yes.
What happens to the other 1.5 million? Because
I don't think it's ever happened that you've had surplus, but it's a good question to put to the
relevant.
Well,
that's what I needed to ask Mark Green.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I didn't ask. I wasn't able to get hold of him, and he didn't call me back. So maybe we should hold it over.
James, it's a double-edged sword in a lot of ways. When you have a horse going to a sale, and I'm a part-time breeder, as a lot of people are. You know, they're part-time breeders. You used to be. I don't know if you still are. You breed horses. Still am. So we're in a situation where you've got a sale that's linked to these feature races. Now, you'll have your major sale. Let's just, for example, say the CTS January and then the main national sales. The CTS January, you're fetching top dollar. The money's there. It's a wonderful sale if you can sell. But on both sides, you're paying. Now you come to the next CTS sale, which is a smaller sale. You haven't the international influence. You haven't those buyers. You put it on, it costs you X amount to put on. It costs you X amount to qualify for the race. You have to pay it. I put a horse on once to sell, and I bought it back at 20. I got my bull of 25,000. I put my own horse on and I sold it. So straight away, my back went up. I didn't have the benefit of a big Cape CTS 1 sale to maybe show a profit. This horse only ranked in that league. But you still get hit hard. And that's what you've got to remember. And if you get 200 people getting the X amount of money, and it all goes into the coffers. But James, I'll tell you, CTS and Bloodstock SA don't have surpluses. That's my understanding.
They don't have a surplus?
No.
Okay, well, that's fine. That was a question that was basically asked. Well, I think that's what he's trying to say, is that, what happens to the surplus? But I suppose that goes to their bottom line. That's what they do.
If it does, if people, if they get that amount of entries, and they can make it. I think they're always trying to balance the books. They're always trying to put more out there.
Yeah.
But again, the double-edged sword with these races they put on that are bonus races for horses that are restricted from their sales, and that they are now getting to a situation where you're having 2 big 3-year-old races in the day. One's a big series race, and one's the Selangor. I'm just using an example. So you're diluting your go-throughs to the derbies and things like that. I've always believed you should never have 2 big 3-year-old races in the day. That's just a personal opinion. I believe that you should have a situation where I've got this horse who's eligible to win 2 million, but I've also got this race that I can win. Why not put them apart? They put them on the same day the other day. Do you remember when Sean Terry had to go with Chimmy Run? Is he going to go take on Vaughan's horse? And yet his other horse with Marcus is winning, the Pomodoro is winning the series race.
Sales race, yeah.
Sales race, call it a sales race. So you're in a situation where I don't think that's right. That's just my opinion. That's programming, but I don't think it's CTS's problem. But they probably speak with the operators and say, these are the days we like.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it's got to be on a day that's going to create some hype and excitement
but
about
again,
it.
It's big money, and there's 2 big races on the day,
Just as an aside, and I'll throw you the question, do these sales races not favour the big buyers?
Absolutely. If you have a look how many in those sales races.
Yeah.
No disrespect. The guys who go to those sales and who buy them, have a look. You'll have 6 for Sean Terry, 5 for Snaith. It does. It favours the big buyers. But there's nothing stopping a small guy buying a horse.
Well, Paul Reeves, there was a classic case. He won the first 5 million.
Yes, correct. It wasn't him. It was Young Puller.
Oh, Puller, yeah.
Yeah, it was young Puller.
Glenn Puller.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
So James,
in Robertson's colours.
That's right. You have a situation where you can become a very wealthy owner with luck, but it's very hard. The bigger guys go in, they go at those sales, and there's also the aside from that is, I know if I'm going down to that sale, like a ready-to-run sale that qualifies me for a sales race, you've got to go and purchase them at the ready-to-run auction. Those horses have been allocated to different trainers to prepare, giving them an advantage, I believe. If I know, I'll just use Mike de Kock's name. They give Mike, prepare these 20 for us, and Mike's prepared them for 3 months. I go down there, and the horse I like, Mike de Kock knows. So I've been working this horse. That's what I feel is a little bit of an unfair advantage to the guys who are allocated these horses to prepare them for these sales races, who are trainers.
Well, they'll know exactly which is the best one.
That's what I'm saying, So
you know what,
people don't want to rush down and buy because you're fighting for a small percentage, which they don't want.
A lot of horses are good in the morning, not so good in the afternoon.
Haven't I trained a few of those too? Now, these are just questions. To answer your mate's question from Wonderboom or whatever, it's difficult.
Okay. Right, move on. What do you got?
Right, I got, funny enough, this has just come in, and hi, James and Paul. I want to talk about the Summer Cup. It looks like it was a great day for all. Well done to everybody concerned with it, and well done to the winning connections. Fantastic. I just feel that it was a substandard field, and I want to know whether, and this is the question he puts out, any of the field would have a chance in the Queen's Plate or the Met.
Okay.
He said none of those horses there would ever. You've got to remember, no 3-year-olds really can get to go to the Summer Cup, James.
Yeah.
They're not there in town. They're not there. So it's a loaded question. But the field that they put out there, would you back any of those to win the Queen's Plate when all the big horses in town, or the Met?
Well, the Queen's Plate's a different ball game because the Queen's Plate basically a weight for age over a mile. Okay, let's go to the Met rather. And the conditions of the Met have changed over the years. So the Summer Cup is a pure handicap.
Yeah.
Okay, the Queen's Plate is not a pure handicap.
No,
anymore.
I hear what you're saying.
But there's horses in this race that will go down for the Met, and they will run in the Met.
Yeah, whether they can beat the big guns. I've always thought, and again, it's my opinion. I don't want to be slated for it. That you go down to Cape Town, you have your strong Cape Town horses, you have your strong Joburg horses, but everything comes together over the winter season. You must remember, Snow Dance was invincible down in Cape Town. Came up here, got beaten, James. Yeah. Got beaten by Redbury Lane or whatever it was. The Met winner came up, got beaten. When they get up here, you find out the men from the boys or the girls from the boys.
So your question was, is it a grade 1 race? Well, maybe not.
Maybe not.
But the point is that it's there and it's been there forever.
Okay.
And maybe this year's race was substandard. The problem with Grade 1 races in this country is the best horses leave this country every year.
You must remember the Asian Racing Conference, they've got a pattern racing committee that decides, and they're always on South Africa's case of, you know, like the Gold Cup is now downgraded to Group 3.
Yeah.
And they would obviously look at that. So watch the space, I suppose.
Okay, this is one which you should be able to answer. I've seen horses race in KwaZulu-Natal without a barrier trial. Yesterday, a first time I ran for Howells, I was told all KwaZulu-Natal base horses had to barrier trial. Please enlighten me. Peter from Durban.
Yeah, the ruling, and again, it's when I say we, Gold Circle have rules that they put in place for this race. It's a work in progress, and it started off, there was flack because older horses with younger horses and turf, but it's, as you say, James, you love the barrier trials. It's been greatly accepted.
I'll tell you why I love the barrier trials. The whole thing gives you an idea of what horses have ability and what horses don't have ability. They're not cast in stone. No, but if you looked at the baby race yesterday in Durban, okay?
The first two, yeah.
The first horse had shown best in the barrier trial, and the second horse had shown best in another barrier trial. They ran in different barrier trials, okay? Then they both ran together.
Half a length, yeah.
So, you knew exactly what was going on. Now, surely that's beneficial to the punter.
Oh, yeah, James,
and that's all we're trying to do.
Let's answer the question. You know, I agree with you. I'm very much in your camp, you know.
Okay, so
this question is, I'll tell you why, and again it's contentious, as people are coming through, and you have your naysayers, and they're saying, listen, I've got a horse I've nursed for years. If I go to a barrier trial, especially on the poly, or whatever, especially on the turf or whatever, it's a poly or vice versa, I find there's a great chance that this horse, who I've managed to get sound now, I don't think there are that many races in him. And if I poly,
I'm going to answer that.
No, no, sure. I'm just telling you the.
Okay.
Let me finish it. You can come back to it. Then, Gold Circle sat in the racing committee, and they faced these questions from a few trainers, and they said, if there is a situation where they feel the horse is under pressure because of limbs or whatever, they have to have a veterinary certificate, and they'll be allowed to race in a race without going to a barrier trial. Hence the Howell situation. Whether it's right or wrong is the contention.
Okay. So they have to have a veterinary situation.
Yes.
Well, let me answer it this way. If a horse is not sound enough to go through a barrier trial, he's not sound enough to race.
Fair enough.
Because he's a danger.
Fair enough.
And secondly, if a vet is prepared to give a veterinary certificate to say this horse is not sound enough to go through a barrier trial, but is sound enough to race, there's got to be something that is wholly untoward there. And I wouldn't accept it. I was a trainer for a long time.
No, your point's
I would
valid.
not consider racing a horse on the race course without it being, in my opinion, 100% sound. If it's 95% sound, it came out. Okay. That was the situation.
Yeah.
Now, surely a barrier trial which you have to run in 63 or 65 seconds, that's a bit of pace work for a horse.
Yes.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
If a horse can't stand up to a bit of pace work, he can't stand up to the rigors of a race.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's my final say on it.
It's a good point. It's a good point. And they're going to be, as I said, it's a work in progress. They're going to say no one day, say, listen, guys.
Barrier trials are the best things that could ever happen to racing in South Africa. Thank you. Let's move on. What do you got there?
Okay, right. Hi, guys. What is happening with the protocols? They were supposed to be changed to ensure a quick passage to get our horses overseas. And we were told that they hope to have the protocols in place by December for the good of all parts of the industry, the breeders, the trainers, the owners, and everybody. Is there any good news?
You're asking someone who doesn't know.
I don't know. No, Toddy runs it. We've got to try and get this. Is a
Toddy
good question.
was going to come on the show. He said it would all be sorted out by December.
That's what I thought. But give him time. It's only the 3rd of December.
I saw him at Mike's party, but I didn't have a chance to chat to him.
It would be
he looked fat. He looked fat and flourishing, Toddy.
Is he doing well? Yeah. Good for him. So he's heading our team, isn't he?
Yeah.
Have you any news how far down the road they are? I don't know.
No idea.
Because we've sat over years in our studio. If you can talk about how many people we brought from Peter Gibson, from Toddy, from people involved, from speaking to Mouton's Hook, Benny, about the protocols, and everyone seemed to give us a response that sure it's imminent. That imminence is.
We'll call Toddy and see what the story is. Let me finish with the last one. This is a guy, Christian, I don't know where he's from. He says, I've noticed many horses badly schooled at the pens. There are always horses flipping or behaving badly in the stalls. Is this because of the new starting methods of loading? I was led to believe that horses were to load 1 to 6 and 6 to 12 in a 12-horse field. This also does not happen all the time. Tell me the rules and who makes these rules. It is frustrating watching these horses behaving badly in the stalls.
Okay, the rule was that they're trying to get, again, conformity with the rest of the world, go 1 to 6, 7 to 12. Just using the 12-horse field as an example. So 1 and 7 win, and 2 and 8. To speed things up, you don't delay there. The problem comes is you do get problem horses. Now, the rules are regulated by the NHA, the Jockey Club, oversee this, and they say that's what they want to do. And they're having great success with it, but you're still going to have your horses that are claustrophobic, that are hard work. They're all going through a procedure where they have to be passed at the gates in the morning and get them ready. Now, you get these horses that don't want to stand long. You see worldwide, they put horses in without jockeys. So the exception to what we're saying there is there are a few horses, again, who've been taken to the gates with the Jockey Club and the Jockey Club vet there, and they make a decision off that and say, okay, I know you're drawn 1 and your horse, we'll probably put you in later. That's what they're doing. They're trying to accommodate.
Okay, so that's why they don't load in exact order.
They try to.
But now, surely, if a horse is a bad horse, it shouldn't be standing in the pens for 5 minutes while they try and load something else, because that horse is going to go bad.
You must remember that, James, it's not always the horses going into pens or saying, horse won't go into pens. Some go into the stand. They won't go in.
Yeah.
But once they're in, they're fine.
They should be loaded first.
I've never worried about going in early, because I'm a firm believer that once horses in the pens, even the longer it is, the quicker he wants to get out.
Okay. Well, you've more or less answered the questions. I believe we should try and get all horses in the pens in the best possible way and out as easily as possible, so that no one loses their money, no people get hurt, no horses get injured. And the way around that is actually to be completely open and transparent as far as what happened. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your input.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Until next week, we've got great weekends racing in Cape Town. Lots of good things happening. You have a great week's racing.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.